How do I start hunting for and finding gold? That's the question. Hi, I'm Prospector Jess. I'm going to map out how we will start hunting for gold. This is our initial module outline that you'll be receiving over the next few weeks, courtesy of Hunting for Gold. Over the next few steps, I'm going to clear up the mystery of how you can find gold. I'm going to show you how to get started. A key point, the real attraction of gold is the hunt, the find, and the adventure. That is, those who really find gold are typically driven more by the hunt and the finding and the adventure of doing that than they are by the actual value of gold. That doesn't mean the value isn't attracted to them, but their prime attraction is in the hunt. So keep that in mind as you go through this course. How do I start effective gold prospecting? Effective. The kind of prospecting even pros must be if they're going to find gold. But you can learn to start doing that immediately. So let's get going. When we first start, it's all a blur and doesn't make any sense. How do I start? I'm going to give you a nugget. You get gold prospecting success by taking one step at a time. Through preparation comes clarity and focus. And through focus comes success. Like most things that are tricky in life, you must be driven to keep focusing and practicing to become more skilled. It doesn't take long, but you must focus. It's not so much where do I start as how do I start. The where will come as part of the how, and we're going to be showing you that in a bit. The answer of how you should start is with the basics. Even the pros start with the basics, repeating the same process steps over and over, and as they do, they hone those steps to become successful. So prospecting for gold takes some preparation to succeed. You make the best start by knowing and using the basic principles of prospecting. These are principles on which you must act and you must learn from, even when you make the mistakes. In fact, we all make mistakes. That's how we learn and how we become skilled. So don't forget that. When you look at these things and you do things in the field and they vary from the action that you took last time, you can learn something about what it is you're doing and what you need to do differently to be more successful on the next time. And then you have to get back up and try again. Don't forget that. Gold prospecting is like any other endeavor in life. So let's start here. What is gold? The first module you'll receive describes the basic properties and nature of gold, why it's so interesting, and what is it about it that's interesting and useful for us to use and know when we prospect for gold. Is there any gold left? I'm going to give you some facts and figures that'll kind of blow your mind about just how much gold is out there for you to go out and find. And also about some properties of rivers and creeks that makes them very interesting when it comes to finding gold today as opposed to finding gold centuries ago. And let's look at basic geology. What is the connection between geology and gold? Geology has to do with the structure of the earth we live on. And just exactly what of those properties is useful in finding gold? What are minerals and rocks? Gold is a mineral. We're going to show you how to use minerals and rocks in their nature to help you find gold. How do mountains and valleys and rivers form? We're going to talk about that and what role they play in the depositing of gold in placers and pay streaks. Speaking of placers, we're going to talk about placers and stream prospecting next. What makes a placer deposit? No, it's not a deposit in the bank, it's a deposit in the creek. But if you know what makes it, you're way ahead of the game. And then, of course, we're going to be following this with your questions. Over time, I'm going to be requesting that you send in your questions and I will answer them to the group as a whole. That way we can all learn from each other and participate in something that is a noble cause, hunting for and finding gold. I will also be providing more tips as we go along, adding them into the mix. You'll see those come in from time to time, and that will keep you up on the latest things that I have about prospecting for gold. Also reviews and things like that regarding equipment and books and other materials that you might find handy to learn more about hunting for and finding gold. And then we'll continue on to find gold. And as we continue together, we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's get going. Where do I start? Answer. You've already started on huntingforgold.com. Make sure you check back in there and make sure you join our member site so that you have access to all this material. Tell your friends as well. Join the crowd and have the fun adventure of a lifetime hunting for and finding gold. Of course, the true value of gold is in the hunt. We'll keep filling you in with more prospecting details as we go along, so that you'll be prepared to make that adventure of a lifetime hunting for and finding gold. Good prospecting, Prospector Jess. Over now.